Thank you, Saphir. Okay, so my job now is to give you a little bit of an opening to set the stage. I'm going to talk about who we are, what we do, and really what our goals are for today. And again, my name is Lori Moen, and I'm the manager of the Conservation Field Operations Group. So let's see if I can get this to work. There we go. Okay, so who we are, what do we do, and what do we want to accomplish today? So you will see the early, the often, and the never retroactive quite a bit today, so we hope to drill this into your mind. My first question for all of you is, how many of you are residents of the city of Seattle? All right, great. Would anybody like to take a guess at how many departments are in the city of Seattle? 110. 60. Good. Okay, good guesses. I thought I'd start off with a very small org chart. There are actually 39 offices and departments in the city of Seattle. And the reason why I bring this up is because I think it's really gives you perspective to understand where conservation resources fits into this big thing called the city of Seattle. There's our mayor, and here is the division of Seattle City Light, the Department of City Light, or it used to be the Department of Light, Street Lighting, I believe, at one point. So our service territory, even though we are the city of Seattle, we span 7 suburban cities. So for those of you who work with us, know that as you evaluate a project, you need to know whose utility service territory that project is in. So this is a map that you can consult. It's on our website, and it should help you understand. It does get kind of detailed there at the bottom, where we have a number of suburban cities that kind of intersect with Puget Sound Energy's electric service territory. So this is always good to know. And if you don't know, we can always help you find out where, which utility does serve the project that you're working on. Saphir talked a little bit about our customers, and I thought one thing I would just point out is that the Field Operation Group does work primarily with commercial, industrial, multifamily, and small business customers, and those are mostly considered non-residential customers. And when we think about goals and achieving energy savings through this market, just to point out, we have 40,000 customers in that group. So there's 40,000 individual customers. That's not necessarily accounts, that's not necessarily meters. Some of those things don't align up, but that's still a big number that we can look at in terms of people whose doors we can knock on. Also, as Saphir said, we have a long history of commitment to conservation. We have the nation's longest running utility program to incentivize conservation. We've been carbon neutral since 2005, and here's just some nice little facts that you can quote if you ever want some information on how much we've done over the years. It's the equivalent to powering over 100,000 homes. I mean, that's very, very powerful, no pun intended. That's one of my bad jokes. I'm going to throw in a few bad jokes here. I'm still vying for the Oscars. So as we look at supply for power and anticipated loads over the next year, one of the things that the utility has to do is to develop an integrated resource plan to determine how we're going to meet the growth in electric loads. And this is not unique to City Light. All utilities do this, but what is very unique to us is that the major contribution to our growing loads is conservation. And I can't say enough about how this influences our decisions here at City Light. Conservation is our least cost resource, and it is where we put our energy into making sure that we have enough power for the city of Seattle. So this is how it all ties together. In the last facts that I could find, that conservation is currently about 9% of our total resources. This is the breakdown across all resources. So this is just giving you some background. Now, City Light is a big place. We're a big department within the city. We have over a $1 million budget, and just to put into context, where's conservation in all of this? This is City Light. We're actually in the Power and Environmental Supplies Power Supply and Environmental Affairs Division. You'll have to excuse me, I haven't had my coffee yet. And Mike Jones is here today. Mike Jones is our officer for that division, so I'd like to just recognize him and thank him for coming. Power Supply and Environmental Affairs is one of 9 divisions in Seattle City Light, and we are Conservation Resources, one of 9 units in, or I should say, Power Supply and Environmental Affairs is a business unit. We are one division of 9 in that business unit. I got to get my talking straight here. So we're going to take that one step further down, and I'm going to show you all about Conservation Resources Division. You see how many layers there are here? We're getting down to the orange and blue shirts here, okay? So here's the orange and blue shirts. The Field Operations Group is this big orange block here, and we have a number of our staff here today. We also have individuals from the Lighting Design Lab. So they're over there on the far right in the yellow. And I just want to point out that our marketing group, who has played just a major role. I mean, we couldn't have put this event on without them, and maybe this is just a good time to recognize those individuals. Could the energy advisors in marketing please stand up, and we could just give them a round of applause for helping pull this all together. Thank you. And there's Krista. You'll meet some of them a little bit later. We're going to have them introduce themselves in the presentations. And then we're very excited. We have a new director, Craig Smith, and he's standing in the back. He will be doing our closing session later today. So that just gives you a lay of the land in our world, the Conservation Resources Division, and then we're going to go one layer down, and we're going to talk real briefly about field operations, because these are the people that you work with when you do projects and bring projects to us. This chart basically kind of gives you an idea of how many people work in the retrofit field. That is, we're working with existing buildings. Those are the green boxes. Blue are individuals who primarily work with new construction, so developers and major remodels and tenant improvements. So another segment that we have is we have small business and multifamily team that work together on those programs, and those are on the far left. And then we have our group that does most of the medium and large commercial. So that's kind of how we're set up and how we're arranged. And now let me move into really about how we get the work done. So what do we do? Let me just go through my pages here. Our job is to acquire cost-effective kilowatt-hour savings for the utility in order to meet those charts that you saw on the previous slide. So how much? That's the first question I'm going to answer. Here's the results from 2013. And the key pieces I want you to see here is that in field operations, we completed over 1,000 projects in 2013. And with those projects, we gave away $11.5 million in incentives. So that's just to give you some breadth of how much money we dedicate to this on an annual basis. For 2014, we have another $18 million to dedicate to budget. Now that's budget, so we will grab the budget this year, knowing that some of those projects may not be completed until next year or the year after that. But that should be another 1,000 projects that we're looking at doing this year. So the next question is, well, how are we doing? It's May. How are we doing to meeting those targets of 80 million kilowatt hours? Oh, that's not the next question. The next question is, where is it going from here? Well, the good news is that it's going to be slow and steady. And like you saw in that integrated resource plan slide, conservation is not going away, and Seattle City Light has adopted a 5-year strategic plan. And in that 5-year strategic plan, the amount of energy savings we're going to acquire through conservation is steady for the next 5 years. So we're going to continue to do what we're doing, and that's not going to go away. So this relationship is going to continue to build. Now I'm going to answer the question of where we're at right now. So here's our numbers through April. How are we doing? Year-to-date percent of target, 48%. So we're actually halfway where we should be right now. And that is why we're having this discussion with all of you today. And that is why we're encouraging you to bring us your projects and participate in Power Play. You are our sales force, and you help us get those projects with the customers and help us achieve the targets. And a lot of utilities do what they call the hockey stick. So if you look at those graphs, they go long throughout the year, and at the end of the year, they just go straight up to hit their targets. Well, you know, that's the end of the year. There's a lot of stuff going on. People want to be with their families. It's stressful as it is. So what we're trying to do is balance that out and have projects come throughout the year kind of at a slow and steady pace. So as we look to the end of the year, this is our forecasting tool. We're here right now in April. And our pipeline only says that we're going to hit 44% of that target line. So again, we're going to be looking for ways to bring in new projects, to get business going, and to start filling that pipeline so that by the end of the year, this bar right here is up here. So that's kind of where we want to go with this. And then I'm going to talk very briefly about how we acquire cost-effective savings. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because that's what our breakout sessions are for. But in general, the Conservation Resources Division offers a number of services. Financial incentives, that's kind of what we're here to talk about today. But we also have some technical assistance and information services that I'm just going to touch on very briefly. Our financial incentives are pretty much set into 3 different buckets. We have simple rebates, we have standard rebates, and you're going to hear a lot about both of those, and then we have custom incentives, which is if it doesn't fit in these buckets, we'll put it in this other bucket, and we'll analyze it for energy savings. And we pretty much look at anything that will achieve cost-effective energy savings, and we do that on an engineering basis. And I'd just like to share we look at our statistics over 2013, and a typical project is going to save roughly 120,000 kilowatt hours. We typically pay, this is an average based on all those numbers, $22,000 in incentives, and that'll save the customer about $7,500 a year on their utility bills. So there's some information you can use as you talk to customers. Now, not all projects are like that. I signed an agreement the other day that had a $606 incentive, but then again, we also paid one that was $244,000. So it does range, and this is a neat thing that we can do. If you do have a large project, we can do a big check presentation. This is the owner of Wajamaya, who was receiving over $200,000 in incentives, and you can see the smile on her face. She was very excited about that. So I'm not going to talk about the general funding guidelines, but what I want to point out here is this pie chart, because some of you work solely in lighting, some of you work solely in mechanical systems, but what's good to know is that we do work with contractors and customers on projects that span a wide variety of technologies. And although lighting is the #1 area that we achieve our savings, we do a lot of things. And we're even looking at regenerative braking on trolleys. So if you suspect that something is going to save energy, come talk to us. And this is a great place, if you are in one field or another, to connect with your peers in another field and learn about what are the opportunities in mechanical if you're a lighting specialist, or vice versa. So we really encourage you to not just network with us, but network with your peers as well. Real quick on technical assessments, sometimes it's not always easy to know what you need to do, what are the opportunities in a building. So we offer some assessment assistance. Sometimes that's just a walkthrough audit where we can take a look at what your existing systems are and make some very general recommendations. For projects that are more complex and technical, we can actually help pay to have those systems analyzed and come up with a list of measures and prioritize those measures based on payback. And then if you're in the lighting field, one of the great resources we have available to us is the Lighting Design Lab. And they are here today, and I encourage you to stop by and talk with them. They have mock-up facilities, they can do research for you, and if you've got a lighting design project, they're a great place to go to bounce ideas off of. So they are a part of our division, and we like to partner with them as much as possible. Information services, this is stuff that you may not necessarily be aware of, but definitely our customers are aware of it. For buildings in the downtown network that have large meters, we have interval data that's available, and for those of you who have are working in mechanical, this is often really good information for you to understand how the building systems work. So that's our Seattle Meter Watch, and if any of you know about the Green Button initiative, we hope to be a Green Button download certified here in the next couple of months. So that is a way for you to get data that's in a prescriptive format so that you can push it into your own systems from the Seattle Meter Watch. We also have some other tools for customers that help them understand their energy consumption through bill presentment. And for larger customers who have portfolios, we can actually send them their billing data on a monthly basis so that they can use it. And if you are not on our Trade Ally News mailing list, today is the day to get your name on it. I'm assuming that many of you are here because you are on it, but we encourage you to forward that information to your colleagues, to people that you know in the field. We're really trying to build that list up and help our marketing group meet their goal of spreading the word and getting more people engaged in our programs. Okay, so finally, I know you're just getting really tired. I haven't thrown any jokes in. And I've got 10 minutes left according to Margot. So, no jokes. Early, often, never retroactive. What do we want to accomplish today? Well, I think we've said over and over and over again, and I can't say this enough, that you are a very important business partner to us. We see this field of work called energy management and conservation really a team effort. It takes a lot of different industries working together, contractors, manufacturers, consultants, engineers, architects, designers, building operators, building managers, building owners, conservation resources staff. There's a whole lot that goes into from start to finish to get those projects done, and we recognize that. And we say thank you to all of you, because over the last 30 years, we have done a lot of work. We have touched a lot of buildings, but there are remarkably a number of buildings out there that we haven't done anything in. Some buildings we're coming back to, and we're doing a lighting project for the third or fourth time. I started in this industry in the early 90s, and we were doing T8s. Well, we're still doing T8s, but now we're doing LEDs. And I mean, what are we going to be doing in 10 years from now? I tend to bet that there will be yet a new technology that will be coming back and taking a look at these buildings for maybe the fourth or fifth time. So the next 30 years are going to be really exciting. I think technology is just changing so fast, and you all know that. So we work together, we try to keep up with this technology, and the next few years are going to be very exciting. So today's agenda, hopefully you all got a copy of today's agenda. If you didn't, they are outside on the front table as you come up the escalators. This is a very high-level overview. I'm going to finish talking here in less than 10 minutes. And then we're going to have a break. And as I mentioned in my opening discussion, that there is coffee at the break, and the break will be 15 minutes. And we ask that you keep on time and try to get into the session rooms by 9 o'clock so that we can start on time. We'll have a second break, then we'll have a second session, and then we'll have a closing in this room at 11:45. So that's the day at a glance. Now let's talk a little bit about the tracks. We have 3 different tracks, and last fall we got some good feedback, and we tried to incorporate all of that feedback into the planning of this event. One of the pieces of feedback that we heard is that not everybody wants to go so deep into everything. And so we've got kind of an introductory track for people who haven't worked with us before. And then we've got 2 tracks for veterans who just want to know, just tell me what the changes are. What do I need to know that's new? Give me a reminder of some of the stuff that I need to focus on. So track 1 is for all of you who are perhaps novices to our programs. Track 2 and 3 will be very much specific to technology, to lighting technology, and to HVAC and process technology. But these are all the different topics that we're going to cover. In some areas, we're going to actually have the same presentation in a couple sessions just to make sure that you all hear that information. And at the end, we're going to have some time for feedback because we want to continue to get your feedback. So if you have colleagues who are not here that perhaps you think would like to attend the introduction section, one of the things that we'll let you know is we're going to be taping that. And we're going to put that on the internet. So that will be available for you as you perhaps hire new people in your business. You can send them to the City Light internet or website to view that presentation. And I don't know if it's going to have any jokes. I don't know if anybody's going to do any impressions, but it might be good information for them to get. So, okay. So during the breaks, now you've heard about this power play thing. How many of you have actually filled out a card already? Anybody filled out a card already? A couple people. Okay. Good. So we're really excited to have this partnership with the Mariners, and this is your chance to tell us how we can work together, and your chance to be recognized as an energy efficiency expert on the field with 7 of your favorite colleagues during a Mariners game, recognized as an energy expert. So all you have to do, and the rules are very, very simple. All you have to do is fill out a card, give us the name or the idea of your project. It needs to be in City Light service territory. That's the clincher. We're going to check that. We're going to verify your details. You can enter more than once. And you need to be present to win. So Craig Smith will be telling you who won at the end of the day during our closing session. So I hope that you all are here to hear that. So this is your chance to be recognized as a superstar. And if you don't have any ideas, we're going to have lots of people ready to talk with you down on the B level. We have tables set up. Look for the power player tables. They'll be able to answer all of your questions down there. Okay, so finally, getting your feedback. Hey, this is really important to us. What do we want to know? How easy is it to work with us? What do we do well? What can we do better? What ideas do you have? We've got a lot of opportunities today for feedback throughout the morning. We're going to have a video camera and an interviewer, and we're going to come around, we're going to ask you questions, and we're going to videotape those. As I mentioned, we've got time allocated at the end of each session for some feedback. That'll be a facilitated discussion. For those of you who don't like electronics, we're going to have some printed surveys available. And for those of you who love electronics, we'll also do a survey electronically after the event. And we are also looking to put together a Trade Ally Advisory Panel. So if you're interested in participating in that, there is a bowl, I believe, on the front table up on top. As you come up the escalators, you can put your name in that, and we will get in contact with you. So what time is better to speak up? Today is the day, and we have ways for you to say it verbally or in writing. And if neither of those appeal to you, here's my contact information, and you are always welcome to give me a call. I know I've talked to several of you, and I always enjoy hearing from people. I like to hear the good and the bad. So please think about that as you call. It's always nice to balance that news. So with that, please contact us early, contact us often, and never retroactive. And I am like 1 minute ahead. And with that, I just want to say thank you. This is our vision for Seattle City Light. We are going to be adjourning now for the break. Again, let me remind you, this is track 1 in this room here. Downstairs, we'll have track 2 and track 3. That's down 2 levels on the escalator to level B. I got the thumbs up. That means I covered everything. Thank you for coming, and we'll talk to you again at closing. Thank you.